Understanding Key English Structures, a journey through grammar. In this lesson, we're going to break down important English language structures with plenty of examples. These are not just explanations. You'll hear how these are used in everyday conversations. So, let's dive into the fascinating world of grammar. 1. Present simple versus present continuous. The present simple is all about routine. Think about the things you do every day, like brushing your teeth or going to work. But sometimes we also talk about what's happening right now. That's when we use the present continuous. Conversation example. Sarah, what do you usually do on Sundays? James, I go for a run every Sunday morning. It helps clear my mind. Sarah, that sounds great. What about today? James, today I'm just relaxing. I'm watching a movie right now, actually. Sarah, lucky you, I'm working on a project. I usually don't work on weekends, but today's an exception. In this conversation, James uses the present simple to talk about his usual Sunday routine. I go for a run every Sunday. But when talking about what he's doing at this moment, he switches to the present continuous. I'm watching a movie right now. 2. Past simple versus present perfect. When we talk about events in the past, we often use the past simple. But there's another tense that helps us talk about experiences that have happened at some point in our lives. This is the present perfect. Conversation. Example. Laura, did you see the new restaurant that opened last week? Tom, yes. I went there on Friday. The food was amazing. Laura, I haven't been yet, but I've heard great things. Have you tried their desserts? Tom, yes, I have. The chocolate cake is incredible. Here, Tom uses the past simple. I went there on Friday to talk about a specific visit that happened in the past. Laura, on the other hand, uses the present perfect. I haven't been yet, because she's referring to an experience that hasn't happened yet in her life. 3. Modal verbs, expressing possibility, obligation, and advice. Modal verbs like can, must, should, and might are often used to express permission, obligation, or possibilities. Let's see how they fit into a conversation. Conversation example. Alice, can you help me with this assignment? I must finish it by tomorrow. Ben, sure, I can give you a hand. You should start with the research, though. It might take longer than you expect. Alice, thanks. I wasn't sure if I could finish it on time, but with your help, I think I can. In this exchange, Alice uses must to express an obligation. I must finish it by tomorrow. Ben uses can to offer help. I can give you a hand, and should to give advice. You should start with the research. Finally, might is used to express possibility. It might take longer than you expect. 4. Conditionals. Imagining different realities. Conditionals are great for imagining different scenarios, whether they are possible, impossible, or hypothetical. There are several types of conditionals in English, and they allow us to discuss different kinds of outcomes. Conversation example. Emma, if it rains tomorrow, I'll stay home. Jake, but what if it doesn't rain? Emma, if it doesn't rain, I'll go for a hike. Jake, if I had more free time, I would come with you. Emma, that would be fun. Maybe next time. Here, Emma uses the first conditional. If it rains tomorrow, I'll stay home, to talk about a real possibility for the future. Jake, on the other hand, uses the second conditional to talk about an unlikely situation. If I had more free time, I would come with you. 5. Passive voice. Shifting the focus. The passive voice is used when we want to focus on the action rather than who performed it. This is common in formal writing but can also be used in conversations when the emphasis is on the event. Conversation example. Reporter, a new library was opened in town last week. Resident, oh really? Who opened it? Reporter, it was opened by the mayor during a special ceremony. Here, the passive voice, a new library was opened, puts the focus on the library, not on who opened it. In the follow-up question, the resident uses the active voice to ask who performed the action. 6. Comparatives and superlatives. Making comparisons. When we compare two things, we use comparatives like bigger, smaller, faster, or slower. But when we talk about the extreme qualities of one thing compared to others, we use superlatives like biggest, smallest, fastest, or slowest. Conversation example. Lily: I think this phone is better than my old one. Alex: Really? I thought the new model was the best one. Lily: Yeah, it has the biggest screen, but I like the camera on this one better. In this conversation, better is a comparative, showing a preference between two phones, while best and biggest are superlatives, describing the extreme qualities of one phone compared to all others. 7. Articles. Definite and indefinite. Articles help clarify whether we're talking about something specific or something more general. A and an are used for non-specific things, while the is used for something specific. Conversation example. Mark: I bought a car yesterday. Lucy: Oh, really? What kind of car? Mark: It's a sedan. The car has a lot of great features. In the first sentence, a car is used because Mark is introducing a car for the first time. Later, he says the car because it's now a specific car that they both know about. 8. Gerunds versus infinitives. The forms of verbs. In English, we sometimes use the ing form of a verb, called a gerund, and other times we use the base form with to, the infinitive. Both forms are used differently, depending on the verb or the context. Conversation example. Anna: I enjoy swimming in the ocean. Tom: Really? I prefer to swim in a pool. It feels safer. Anna: Yeah, but there's something relaxing about swimming with the waves. Tom: I guess, but I like to swim where I can see the bottom. Here, Anna uses the gerund swimming because the verb enjoy is followed by a gerund. Tom uses the infinitive to swim because prefer is followed by an infinitive.